It's been a while since we've had him on the show. I think it was before the John Lineker fight. Ian, Uncle Creepy McCall. It wouldn't be a Halloween without having Ian on the show. We haven't had Ian on the show for a while. So Ian, first of all, how's all with you, my friend? Good to have you back on the show.
Thank you for having me, man. It's always love talking to you.
Ian, yeah, obviously start off. We were just speaking off air there about your personal issues. You seem to be in a really good place at the moment. That's obviously the first plus in your life on the road back to recovery from the injuries.
Yeah, the injury is one thing. This one's been devastating. My shoulders, man, it's been hard, and this could have easily taken me out, I think, for good. It's definitely brought that up in my life. I think one more big injury and I'm going to retire. Just because on my right side, tore my knee in college. Yeah. I blew out my hip, my labrum in my hip and my groin in two places wrestling with Carla. So knee, hip, my back, I got a bulging disc in my neck, my shoulder totally redone, bicep tendon, bicep muscle, 2 labrums, rotator cuff. I fractured and dislocated my elbow on this side. This is the bad hand. So it's like, I got to look at the big picture of things and obviously back to the family. I like being able to walk. I know I'm going to have a new hip one day, but it's things like that. And plus business. I'm a businessman. I got into the wrong sport for business. But I was brought up in this sport by Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
So that was business. I thought that I was capable of that because the sport was still different back then. And now it's been, manipulated for other people's business needs. And,
yeah, I believe you have a new business as well. You're venturing into, I think, marijuana dispensers. Is that correct?
Yeah. And not just that, obviously having a former addiction to painkillers, I can't take painkillers. So, I use cannabis, and I honestly burn leaf rarely, once a month. If I'm with a buddy and wants to smoke a joint, I use a pen, like a vape pen, or I use a tincture, like a little squirt drop, or I use edibles, and it works best for me. I use lotion too, and stuff like that.
It just helps your body, the pains and the aches, the injuries.
Yeah, and people don't really know. I smoke a lot of pot. I always have. I smoke a lot. And that's just because I'm in so much pain.
Yeah.
But back to the medical marijuana business. It's not just about selling weed. This is a growth business, and I'm starting this business. I got brought on by my buddies who own a tech company. So they already are all, my age or younger, and they're worth millions.
Yeah.
And they saw the opportunity, and it's a 9,000 square foot wellness center. We're going to bring in doctors, PhDs, MDs, chiros. I want to bring in massage therapists, a cryo machine. This isn't just your mom and pop stoner shop. It's going to be the nicest facility on the planet, and I mean that because we've got so much money behind us, and I'm trying to do deals to make a chain, so we'll have more than one spot in my area. We're looking at Vegas, Hawaii, all the new spaces. Obviously, Colorado and Oregon and Washington; those are going to be saturated. But we're going to hit the ground running and hopefully open in early December. Have a big event, and it's this. If this business takes off and I start making a lot of money, maybe I won't ever fight again. Because this is the kind of business that can make me a millionaire.
Yeah.
I would still be. I'm always going to be involved in the sport. I mean, I say that, but I'm still going to fight. I love fighting.
But the fact that you have those doubts now, Ian, about not, it's coming into your mind now with all the injuries. Your body's obviously banged up a little bit. I know the hand looks like a claw. I've seen it before. It's pretty messed up. But is that where the doubts start creeping in? Is that possibly a bad thing? A lot of fighters say once the doubt starts creeping in, it's time to sort of call it a day.
Yeah, I think that it's I think of it that way. I think of, like BJ said a long time ago, once you have kids, you're fucked. Once you have daughters, which I have a daughter, and I have, a girlfriend with a son that I'm, we're raising them together as a family. It does create doubt. But I'm just being realistic. I'm not doubting myself. Dude, since I've been in UFC alone, I've had 4 surgeries. And I've been in UFC for how long? 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years. 25, I think, yeah.
Yeah, 4 surgeries. So 3 on the hand, 1 on the shoulder, major tear in my hip and groin. 2 bad infections. Like, so I spent at least half my time on the shelf, and it sucks. But that's how it works, you know. I mean, I know I'm the best in the world. I know I can beat Demetrius. On any given night, I can beat anybody. I just, you know, and then obviously with my former, you know, personal life issues, you know, that's how life happens sometimes, you know. And I'm gonna keep fighting as long as possible. I can see me fighting till 35. I don't want to fight past 35.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, because that's just you're old, you know, especially at my weight class. But if I could fight up until 35, make one good title run, get a title, you know, defend it a couple times, it would be great. But I can't look at this sport as money.
Yeah.
Especially now with Reebok.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the Reebok deal. You know, that's obviously why you're delving into the business world as well.
Yeah.
You know, how do you assess the Reebok deal?
The Reebok deal's shit. It is. It's complete bullshit, and it fucks us. You know, I lose. If things had kept on course from my first, I made like close to 50 grand. I think my first fight in sponsorships.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, I'd be making a lot more than that now, and the market has totally deteriorated, and now they have the deal, and it's just, it sucks. You know, I get the evolution of it from a business standpoint. But on top of it, Reebok has dropped the ball. Sure, they have a good product. I've never worn the product, but I like the shoes. I like the gear they've given me. Most of the people seem very nice. There's one dude that I wanted to fucking punch, and I didn't say anything in the meeting, but he was a cocky fucking prick, and I hope someone talked to him, because I talked to Bert about it. I actually went out of my way the next morning at like 6 in the morning. I'm a dad. I get up early. I go check my weight, and I made Bert, you know, let's talk. I gotta tell you about some stuff. And I told him, you know, he already had an issue with the guy, not himself, but he'd already heard about issues. And I was thinking, like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, you're talking to a group of fighters, like, you're talking down to us, like you own us, like we're your fucking slaves.
Yeah. I
was like, dude, you're gonna piss most likely some fucking Brazilian off, and some Brazilian's gonna fucking rip your head off. And you know, but and Bert said, you know, thank you for not, you know, doing it in a public, you know, fashion. Yeah. And I wouldn't do that. I'm smarter than that. But you know, their product is great. It just looks horrible. Yeah, the outfits are so ugly. And I, again, used to work in the fashion industry. I like fashion. I like dressing nice, and I know design. I know shit like that. Those outfits would not look good during any generation. 80s, 90s, thousands now. They look horrible. And like Aldo said, we look like fucking Power Rangers. They could have made them, because everyone knows it's Reebok. Everyone knows it's UFC. You don't have to plaster big, stupid logos all over everything. You know, you have the product, and leave it somewhat blank, put a little UFC logo on there, and then give us the rest of the space to get sponsors, man. Of
course.
Like, that's how it should be. And sure, they don't want a bunch of crazy shit. Like, that's fine. So you limit... Yeah? Yeah, we're going in a few minutes. Almost done. You know, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I read an article the other day about, you know, them hopefully dissolving it as just an idea, an opinion. Yeah. That would be great, but it's not going to happen. They're going to ride out this 6 or 7 year deal, and then maybe people make money after. I don't know, you know. It's just...
do you feel...
What was that?
Do you feel as though, you know, guys that are, you know, going to be out of contract soon, and we talk, you know, we've learned there's going to be 60 more cuts. Do you think guys are going to jump over to different promotions because of the Reebok deal, because there's more opportunities to get sponsors and, you know, wear sponsors on your shorts, because you're going to obviously get more money at the end of the day, and there's other promotions fishing around, such as Bellator under Scott Coker, who have relationships with fighters from the past?
Yeah, everyone loves Scott. I love Scott. I never worked for Scott, but then my old roommate, one of my good friends, Rich Cho, is the matchmaker. So... yeah, a lot of people are going to do it, I think, or they're going to think about it. That might drive up price with all this union talk. Maybe that'll help. So at least we have an afterlife after this sport. You know, we at least have medical stuff. Because I know I'm fucked. I mean, luckily I'm going to be successful in life, because that's just me. You know, I come from a very wealthy, smart business family. You know, like, I'll be a millionaire one day. You know, without their help or with it, doesn't matter. But it's just, most of these guys are fucked. Yeah. I'm smart for a fighter. and I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dumb people in this sport, and sure they're nice guys, but they're just stupid.
Does that annoy you though? Like you're obviously a very marketable guy. We've talked about this in the past that the UFC haven't put more into a guy like you, from a marketing sense, because obviously it would, it'd make a lot of sense because they haven't really put the promotion behind the flyweight division that they should have when they implemented the division. And you see guys obviously like Conor McGregor, they put a lot of promotion and marketing in behind. Does that get underneath your skin at times? Surely it must do.
Yeah, I mean it's my fault for not winning, but UFC can make a star out of anyone if they choose to do so. If they want to make you a star, they'll make you a star.
I agree.
You know, sure, Conor could be one on his own. Ronda probably would be one on her own. But, I mean, they put serious marketing dollars into those too. Where you have...
I'm not saying that like, everyone blows smoke up people's asses in the UFC, but there is elements of that happening. You're a guy that certainly doesn't do that. You speak your mind. You tell it how it is. You're a straight shooter. Do you feel as though possibly that's the reason why they haven't?
No, I never get mistreated by the UFC. They always treat me great. They'll tell me sometimes, like I speak my mind, they speak their mind. Hey man, fucking cool it. Tone it down.
Yeah.
Don't say that. And I'm okay. It's I get it. And they're never assholes about it. But it's like it's just one of those things, and I think with a good run, because my division is so just bleak, that if when I put in a good run this next year, I plan on hopefully fighting 3 or 4 times, being healthy, that we they could definitely get behind me. I'm gonna push for it. I'm gonna do everything I can, train my ass off and do all the proper marketing stuff and get those companies behind me. Get the UFC marketing dollars behind me to promote a fight with Demetrius, because I think if I win 3 or 4 good solid fights this year and beat the shit out of people, they have no choice, and that's what they want. They want that. Sure, Demetrius is a great champion, great guy. He just doesn't translate. She doesn't translate well in any way, shape, or form. Even his style, I think, is beautiful. Most, smart people in the know think the guy's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
But it just people don't care, and he doesn't do anything for that. And if he's content making, the money he makes, and obviously he is, but if he's content with that, then cool. If he doesn't care about making a bunch more money, then that's his choice. It's not ours.
Ian, just a couple of more questions. I know you're in a rush and you're being very gracious with your time as always. You mentioned the injuries. I want to get back to that a little bit and touch on that.
Yeah.
Why do you think all the injuries have happened? Is it because you've possibly overtrained, or has it been incidents in fights? What's the situation there?
The only injury that happened in a fight was my hand. The groin and the hip. When I tore that, I was training with Carla Esparza.
Yeah.
Carla's known in the gym for hurting people. She's fucking mean, and she busted Alex Perez's nose, broke his nose. She's tough.
Do you need to tone it down in training a little bit yourself, possibly, or are you too eager to train in the gym?
I've been doing that. That's the thing. I've been training smarter over the last couple of years to try and avoid injuries, and I still get injured.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be taking me to really fine tune smart training, because technically I'm good enough. Mentally, when I'm in shape and I got a good personal life, I'm on. There's no one who can beat me. So it's just keeping healthy, and I'm so healthy. Even this whole year that I've been off with injuries, or been waiting for a fight or whatever, I've been still eat perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe drinking too much beer, but whatever. I eat 15 vegan meals a week. It doesn't mean I'm a vegan. I just eat 15 super healthy vegan meals made by another fighter who's vegan, so he knows what I need in my system. My cheat meals are no longer candy, or if anything, I'll have like a nice chocolate or something, chocolate and wine, or chocolate and whiskey, or something before bed. But my cheat meals are mostly they're meat. I hunt. I like meat. I love meat, so I'll be up at midnight cooking a steak, and my dad walks in the room and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Shut up, I need meat, man."
Yeah, no, it's good. You get the kick. We're like that over here. We enjoy a bit of steak and red meat in Ireland, obviously, as well, Ian. But Ian, I know you're getting into the coaching side of it now, and I think you're heading up the program there, Team Ayama. Has Colin asked you to do that? Is there any inkling that Colin thinks maybe you're a little bit, looking at the other side of your life as well after fighting?
Yeah, he is one of my best friends.
Yeah.
I have a great dad, but he's like a father figure,
Of course.
and he knows what's best for me. If there's a day where he says, hey, you need to retire, I'm going to retire.
Has he said that to you?
No. But he knows it's coming. It's coming in the next few years. And Colin and Jiva, my old jiu-jitsu coach, split because Jiva amicably wanted to focus on just jiu-jitsu because he's so good at jiu-jitsu. World class. He beat Damian Maia. He's 1-1 with Damian Maia in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like, he's got who knows how many world titles. He just never had his shot to really showcase how good he is. Jiva sat me down and started telling me what was going on. And I'm the oldest kid in a divorce. I've been with him for over 10 years. Like, this is my family. I started crying, But he's like, and this is your chance to take over the team. We brought in Marcel Lozado for jiu-jitsu, but who's an amazing jiu-jitsu coach as well. But he's like, this is your chance to build a program. From scratch, build up fighters, build up amateurs, whatever, doesn't matter. Just help on that basic level and still help with the team. So I have a life there. And I wasn't going to get into the gym business because I don't want to have a gym anywhere else except for where I live. I don't want to leave Southern California.
Yeah.
But then I text Colin after, and right away he called me and he said the same thing, like, this is your moment, this is your chance to take this and run with it. So it's. I've got, Oyama and the Lotus Club Jiu-Jitsu tattooed on my arm. I'm not going anywhere. I'm a loyal dog. So it's segueing into that, and I'm very, very analytical. Like, I break things down. Maybe it's the pot or the alpha brain. I don't know. Or both. But, I analyze things at a crazy level. And it's hard sometimes to teach people that suck or are just beginning.
So it's frustrating for you.
But at the same time, I'm getting better at it. I'm learning to compress. Where with good fighters, I'll expand on my details. I'll get Bobby Fisher-ish and I'll just break it down on every single thing.
Right.
But then with like the beginner's class, I compress it and I make it more of a one move. And it's fun to me. I love it. I'll always be around that. And even when my business opens,
to still keep with the.
It's right down the street from my thing. That's where I shoot my show. My direct endorsement charity show is in the waiting room there, which is beautiful. So and then I've got my merch company that takes all my merch stuff on my website. Now they have a podcast for me too, which we'll be running with. And
awesome.
So everything is within a very small circle. It's really all within 5 miles of each other. My strength conditioning gym, my main gym, my doctor's office, my cryo place, my other work. So it's coming together. And even if I never fight again,
is that something realistic? Because obviously you have a huge following the UG as well, the UGCTT. Obviously you're popular everywhere. You're one of the most popular flyweights in the world. Is that a genuine possibility that you're not going to get back into the octagon?
Yeah, it is. Realistically, yeah. I'm.
Are you weighing it up in your mind? Are you going to go and how your body reacts? When's the final decision going to be made on that?
Oh, not for a while. I'm going to get in shape. Because I need to be in shape. I hate being in shape. And I'll go through a training camp. I'll go smooth. We'll see. And then we'll go from there. It's just, and it's not for sure. It's just something that is relevant because I'm fucking turning 32 in May, and I am that injured all the time, and it's something that I have to be cognizant of, and I am, but I'm not gonna train any less. I'm gonna go in and train my ass off and get ready for this fight. Or whenever I have a fight, get ready for life, I guess.
This fight, have you got something announced? You're not
no. I wish. But yeah, even with UFC, I told them like, let me just get this thing better first. Let me get to the point where I feel good. And I started punching last week, light. Range of motion still sucks. Power's okay. Speed's okay.
Is that something you'll ever be able to get back? Is that? That movement and the power and that shoulder. We know you've had a hand problem as well. Will you be able to get that back? Yeah.
Maybe not all the way, but for the most part, yeah. I work at it hard, and I'll make it as good as possible. You know, I got stem cell not too long ago, maybe 8 weeks now, 7 weeks. You know, that's one thing I'm gonna do all the time. You know, when I start making a bunch of money, I'm gonna get fucking stem cell like every 6 months, just intravenously, just put it in there. It'll fix my body. You know, I'll probably do it with my kids and my girlfriend just to fix everything.
Ian, okay, just before we let you go, you know, is there an opponent in mind? Obviously, you mentioned there you're going to have to make 3 or 4 if you do return to the octagon to start off that run back towards DJ. You know, I was thinking possibly a great performance from our own Irishman, Neil Seary, last weekend. He fought Braden in the past before. That's a matchup I think would be really, really good for the fans. I think Neil, you know, a lot of people actually thought he went a lot closer to beating Brad than, you know, you rocked Brad a few times. Is that a fight that might tickle your fancy down the line to start off?
I'd love to fight Neil. He's a great guy. I really like him. This is left. Okay, we'll leave right now. 30 seconds. I would love to fight Neil. That'd be freaking great. But, you know, we've even talked about it. Like he's a cool dude. Be a fun matchup. So that would be cool. Or Dustin Ortiz to begin with, because I owe him a fight. You know, I beat him once. We were supposed to fight again. I got injured. And then I'd like to fight someone like Joe Benavidez, and then, you know, see where that puts me. Okay,
Ian, listen. Always a pleasure having the show. Really do appreciate the time.
No.
Really hope you do return to the octagon. It'd be a shame if it ended like this. But anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to, any sponsors, anyone like that, where the guys can find you?
Yeah, if you want to look at my Twitter is everything is Uncle Creepy MMA. Yeah. I've got Periscope, Twitter, you know, Instagram, all that stuff, Facebook. It's all on there. Obviously, my team, Team Oyama, Lotus Club Jiu-Jitsu, Marcelo Azado Jiu-Jitsu, Innovative Results Training, my agent, Jason House. I got a really good team of people behind me, so it's all good, man.
Awesome.
So thank you for having me.
Ian, always a pleasure. Do appreciate it, and I'll speak to you soon. Appreciate the time, man.
All right, see you, man. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, dude. Talk to you soon. Cheers.